Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. Even though it's Trekyards, we're talking about a Star Wars ship today.
Well, I mean, we've got alternate universes with Giorgio the Mirror. Maybe they alternate universe. No, Stuart, this is a Star Trek ship.
What?
Yep,
Ooh.
yep. Stuart, what is the name of the ship?
Viridian.
It's a good name. Starts off well. It's the Orion, head of the Orion Emerald Chain Crime Organization, which is a quadrant-spanning organization, big bad crime entity, which has pretty much the most dilithium in the quadrant or multiple quadrants, like the big bad. And this is her flagship, which is not huge given the size of the discovery we see and during the book ship flying. So it's not actually huge.
But it is a heavy cruiser, they call it.
Yes.
A heavy battleship or something, they say.
No, heavy cruiser. You're right, exactly.
Heavy cruiser.
And we see in this episode we fly around it, and we take it out as well. What do you think? Because it's a new ship, Stu. We are the Trekyards boys.
I know. Like I said, it feels very Star Wars. It feels like something you'd see in Clone Wars.
Yes, especially Clone Wars for some reason.
Yeah. Very turrets everywhere. Greebly stuff just for the sake of greebly stuff. It definitely has a Star Destroyer-esque shape. It does have detached bits as per like the new technology,
The fad.
which is fine. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's not really impressive to me. I would prefer there weren't detached parts on this one, actually. Just kind of dumb. So, I don't know. And even the way that it fires its weapons, it just seems so Star Wars. It just bugs me. It's not a good space battle.
Oh no, Space Battle's awful. I mean, let's get that out of the way. It's absolutely. But I think this is where we're starting to see the work at home, because this model is extremely low detail. I mean, insanely low detail for what it is. And cloned turrets give it a sense of detail, but there's no hull detail. It's all texture detail with a few little single plate like boxes that are obviously just copy and paste and they're single polygons. I mean, it is extremely low detail, and the way they film with it is basically they stay on the hull with motion blur, seeing the nice hero ship of the book ship. So you can tell they had no time, no confidence in the ship, and it feels as if it was a very, 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 very low budget battle where they couldn't show it because they didn't want to, because they hadn't got a good enough model. You can only go so much with low. So it's kind of like just ignore it battle. And also given the fact the pace is bad, it's somewhat in classic Trek fashion, but it's handled especially poor here. She was down to 80%, down 10%. Oh, no, we're still fine. Yep, we're still fine. Oh, we win. It's like, so they do the entire battle at pretty much at 10% with a ship that has, they were saying, unbelievable amounts of weapons, and it does keep, and the ship keeps getting, it's not as if they keep dodging the weapons out of Star Wars, they keep getting hit. So the pacing is pretty bad. And as we often say, it's so visually cluttered to have shields and petrol explosions, energy beam weapons, lasers hitting a shield and causing a fireball in space. Nothing about that works, and it just makes noise. It implies damage where there is no damage, and it looks gross in terms of wasting rendered time and doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second, even though I don't believe what I'm about to say, because I just want to be devil's advocate for somebody out in the audience. The ship was fairly low-esque compared to Discovery as it was attacking the planet. I mean, it's so low that even Book could see it from the planet's surface.
Which makes no sense given how small.
And you couldn't see Discovery. Oh, it's a big ship. Ship's big enough, you'd be able to see it. It's not a problem if it's low enough.
You can't even see the book ship of the CGI of the scene. Like, you can't visibly see it ourselves.
But then he says, "Is that my ship?" What I'm talking about is him seeing the ship, the big bad ship. But then he says, "Is that my ship?" Which you wouldn't be able to see.
No, you can't see in the sequence. Like, it's literally not visible.
But so for the petrol explosions, if it's low enough in the atmosphere, it's a possibility that it's got enough oxygen to cause a petrol-like explosion and not just lasers hitting a shield. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. It's low enough in the atmosphere because it's attacking the planet.
Which I would agree with if they kept a shot. Oh, well, I wouldn't agree with, because neither do you believe it. But in the shot where you see it from the planet up, it's low. Every other shot, it's really high. There's a complete disconnect. It's not very low. Like, it's still basically the same as Discovery minus a few thousand meters. I mean, it's not at all enough to make any difference. Like it would have been would have been cool if it was in the atmosphere. That would have been actually really kind of cool if it was like over the planet and shooting. But it isn't. It's in space. It's above the atmosphere.
I think it's just bad visuals. They were implying something is happening that they didn't show very well. And that's kind of a problem, actually, with Star Trek in general. Just ships in orbit. The planets are always way too small. It's like the orbit's way far away from the planet. Because, I've played... This is kind of off topic a little bit, but I just want to get into it real quick. I've played Star Wars Squadrons and stuff or even the Battlefield mission for the X-Wing in VR. And you look out and there's a planet beside you, and you're so close to it that it's like almost a straight line like this because it's so big. But in Star Trek, it's always been a trope. You see the planet and the ship. It's like, okay, that's a far away orbit, or it's a really small planet. Anyway, just something I wanted to point out.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that's a conceit that you have to do in CGI as well. But I think, again, just like we like a few weeks ago, there's a big disconnect between what the actors are saying and what the visual effects are doing. They don't connect properly, which is just... I think this one just screams of they had no time, but it doesn't make it good. And the design itself also kind of has a sect class from Discovery Season 1 with the Klingon ship, the way the ribbing goes to the front. The non D7 it kind of has that vibe. I don't mind its splitness, but it doesn't come across when it warps in. You can't tell. It looks like a big bulky thing. And then you kind of see through it, and only with that bottom up do you see, oh, it's actually that shape. It's very strange.
And what looks like windows don't look like windows at the same time. It's really weird. It's like a glimmery, shimmery something. But
the scale wouldn't allow it to be windows, because Bookship is flying over it, and it's not that big. I mean, Bookship is not big. This ship is actually quite small, relatively speaking. I mean, I'm sure it's smaller than a Deredex. And it would have been fun if the ship had actually been connected and disconnect,
and like turn one ship into almost 3 different battle platforms. That would have been neat. I would have been totally on board with that. But
so we've seen Discovery, retract and detract its nacelles for Spore Jump. So because warping with the ship, like that just seems unsafe. So just connect them for warp, etc. But yeah, if you actually split up into multiple ships, a multi-vector, whatever, and then you could have multiple targets. Would have been kind of fun.
It actually would have been cool if it had like a Star Destroyer shape, and then it split apart, and one side went like this, and all of a sudden all the turrets that were inside come to bear. That would be kind of neat.
Or as I said, like if then launched fighters to attack the planet, like has bays. And even the turrets, they say they're photon torpedoes, but they don't look like photon torpedoes, and you don't launch them from turrets like that. Very strange. It's just a big... It's one of those ones where there wasn't much thought put in. I'm sure this was a sketch on a napkin, not literally, but I mean it was a quick 5-minute doodle in a program, and then someone made it over the course of a weekend or 2 days. I mean, it's really simple, and it's weird to even think that Bookship could even take it out. Like, I know they say they attack the weapons bit, but the way it kind of feels as if it can hold its own against a heavy crew. Bookship is just it's like a runabout. It's a freighter. It shouldn't even be able to cope for a second. And if they said explicitly, we can't lock on, it's too small, Star Wars, fine, makes sense. But it keeps hitting them. Like, it's a very successful attack pattern.
Yeah. It's almost like the Millennium Falcon going up against a Star Destroyer. Sure, it could get some good pock shots in, hit a few important spots, but overall, it's not going to destroy the damn thing. And this is not the size of a Star Destroyer anywhere near it, so I just want to point that out as well. It is very small for
what it could
being
be.
A heavy cruiser, but...
Which is good, though. I like that. I always prefer smaller, more menacing ships. Although I kind of wish we had like a scimitar reference. They say it's got lots of weapons. It should have said 46 plasma. It would have been nice. They had listed off an absurd amount of weapons again, like scimitar. But also, if they destroyed the main weapons emitter, it's like they've got multiple types of weapons that can be controlled and bypassed. Like torpedoes and phasers are controlled from different parts of the ship, then come through computers. So it kind of felt like a Death Star move. Like, we take out one weak spot in the front of the ship for some reason. Basically, Stuart, it was the first thing that really feels like From Home. And honestly, don't try doing something this big if you can't achieve it successfully.
Yep, that's a good summation. I don't know. It was just kind of okay. If you guys like this ship, that's cool. I'm just not a fan. Like I said, it would have fit perfectly in a Star Wars universe, like Clone Wars or something.
And even the detached would have been like its big gimmick. Like, oh my god, it's detached.
Yeah.
How? That's cool.
So let us know in the comments section what you thought of this design. If it's something that was impressive to you, if you notice anything we didn't, or have any explanations for how things work that we maybe didn't get. Like, I have no real problem with it warping, considering it's detached because it's all contained within a warp bubble. That's the point.
Yeah, it's just in a perfect world sort of situation.
Well, absolutely, I agree. But I just wanted to, because I know somebody's going to mention that.
Sure.
So put your comments down below what you thought. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tune into our lives where we talk about this, and you can engage us real time as well, which is really fun.
Well, it's great because, you know, you guys are a big, broad spectrum of fandom, and we want to know what you think. And often, pretty much every single time, something you guys say creates a massive conversation. And you know, you can always change our minds with good evidence and good discussion, etc., etc. But yes, if you want to support this discussion and other such shows and ships, etc., then support us on Patreon and PayPal. Join the YouTube channel is a great button on the channel. Join certain monthly things and you get bonus things. I do super chats during the lives. We love that internal communication. And if you can't do any of those things, it's just like, subscribe, and be part of the conversation, because likes and comments do make a difference. So thanks in advance.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Combs.
Bye, guys.